Welcome back one and all to another episode of a very basic space program. Last time we did our Tundra orbit and we've actually got one of the Tundra craft left there. This time we're going to have a look at these Icarus craft and we're going to put something together that's a little bit more capable, I think. So please join me. Right, so you find me here just on the main Space Center screen, and I'm just having a look around at what we've got. We've got a couple of explorers that have now been built, so we could actually do a couple of landing on the moon missions to get some funds if I need to. We've got a couple of Icarus craft there, a standard satellite bus. We might knock a couple of those up actually and do them in the background or whatnot. We've got some upgrade points, so I'm going to put these into R&D because, well, I've got 1 point. It's going into R&D. Let's have a look. We're now on interplanetary era science. That's going to give us a lot more science, and hopefully that's going to be done in 131 days, which will bring us online for a Mars mission, I think, maybe. Potentially the mature avionics and probes will be good as well, but I want to go to Mars. I really want to send something to Mars. Mars, I think, has to be our next target, and the only problem I have is power supply. But yeah, so we've got 40 science to spend. Let's have a look. What can we spend our 40 science on? I asked for comments about what I should go. Should I go for hydrolox? Should I go for stage combustion? A lot of you said go hydrolox, but go for the second batch of hydrolox, which I think is this one here, the RL10A3-1, because this first one I think is pretty poor for reliability, particularly if we want to go big. We do have the H1 or RS-27s being developed, so that gives us a bigger sort of launch engine to replace our current launch engine. So we might evolve our current launcher a little bit instead of revolutionize it. We might just evolve it a bit. But I'm currently 7, and some of you said, well, can you do both? Can you go hydrolox and staged? I think I want to do both. So the question is, do I go hydrolox to start with or staged? I think I want to go staged, which I think means that this is sort of a waste for us right now. So I'm thinking I get rid of it, because what does it give us? It gives us engine, S2 engine, Viking. It doesn't give me anything I really need right now, because my H1s would be potentially replaced with these NK9s, which are not as good, but they are very cheap, aren't they? So that's 800, and that's actually they're twice as expensive. They're twice as expensive, aren't they? They're twice as expensive, but they give a much better ISP, which would be a big bonus for us. Would be a big bonus. The H1 engine doesn't really go far, but do I give that up to go for this and then just go down the Russian route is the question. The problem is the early NK9s are not very efficient. Not very reliable, shall we say. Think N1 rocket. But then I also can get access to some of this stuff, which is is proton, and the proton stuff is very tasty, very, very, very tasty. That's going to be 60, so it'll be 60 and 50. Let's cancel that. Let's go for that. And let's start down here, because if I can get these are storable, and we could build like a proton-esque thing, maybe something, I don't know. Well, we don't have to make the decision just yet. We can actually hold off just a little bit longer. Right. Jump back in there because I want to check something else. Life support. Right. This would give us. Let's have a look. This one here gives us lots of stuff that we don't see, but it does give us a life support tank, and then this one gives us the chemical plant and the external ECLSS module, which is external module for, I think it's all life support and things like that, and it gives us all these things. Gemini, I think, only comes with two days of life support, so we'll have to have a look at that. Yeah, right. Missions. Thank you very much. So this is what we're going to be trying to sort of think about. We've currently got the one orbital flight. Oh, first EVA. How do I get first EVA? That's interesting. Have I now got... Let's just have a check. Oh. That's 500. Oh. Oh, you've tempted me. You've tempted me with first EVA. And that would pay for it. Right, so now we've got Gemini, we can do first EVA, so that gives us a test mission for Gemini. Then we've got this one, which is going to be basically Gemini's first mission, which is 2 days and 5 days. That's the only problem I have with these. Once you get to 2 crew, you get into these quite long missions, 5 days there on orbit with maneuvers. Whereas these ones have been, you know, short missions. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if I want to jump to 2 straight away. Once you go to this, you can't go back. I think once you complete this one, you can't go back and do that one. But we could definitely get EVA, and then the Gemini is out there and done, and we can do the science for it at least. Right. So you've got to be able to transmit it back. That's interesting. Perform an EVA and transmit data back. Right. I suppose Kerbalism will do that for us. Let us go have a look at building a Gemini craft. Here we are, and we have the Icarus 10. This is currently. So we're going to rename this. We're going to start off by renaming this the Janus 1. Why Janus? Well, Gemini was named Gemini because twins. It was originally, I think, going to be Mercury 2, but I can't remember. So, yeah, or was it Apollo? No, I think Gemini was going to be a Mercury 2. So Janus, multiple faces, hence January, you know, facing forward and backwards to the new year and to the old. Right, so what we're going to do is first of all, we're going to reroute to here. There we go. And I'm going to take off everything up here. Right, including that heat shield. Let's get rid of that. Right, so that leaves us with the craft that we were putting up, but without anything on top. Right, now I've got a choice. Do we go Gemini or do we go funny weird shape thing? 1.3. Mercury is that. Mark 1 pod. Mark 2 pod. Ooh, I could go Mark 2 pod, I suppose. Is Mark 2 pod set up for this? I don't know. Mark 2 pod looks just like Gemini, to be honest with you. It's more expensive. 1.19. 1.1 is. So Gemini is the lightest, but is that because it's missing something? Is it missing a heat shield? Is it missing something else? Right, we're going to go for Gemini. There we go. In actual fact, you know what? Knock that off. We're actually going to pay for it. It's going to be 300 and lots of the monies. Right. So there's the Gemini. Now we need a heat shield for the bottom of Gemini. So let's have a look. What have we got? Do we have a Gemini heat shield? What is that? Mercury heat shield. I don't have a Gemini heat shield, do I? You are kidding me. Oh, there's more things appeared there. Mercury. I don't have a... Oh, there we are. Yeah, there is the Gemini heat shield. Okay. Right, so if we just position that not there, up at the top, please. You know what we're going to do? We're going to take these off. And I'm going to extend this. Let's have a look. I need... that is the fairing, isn't it? So, height. There we go. That's easier to put it on that node now. If in doubt, move the height around. Right, that goes there. So that should be correct for the Gemini. Okay. Now, let's actually have a look at this. What does Gemini come with? Let's have a thing. We've got these little experiments. We'll look at those in a bit. We're gonna set the craft up. We're gonna send it up just as it is to start with, and we'll see what it does. Let's have a look. We've got configure scrubbers. We currently have non-regenerative 1 day half-life. They'll only last 2 days. We can't get anything else because we need to get that new thing. Okay, but we could at least get the at least with this first test flight, we would be able to get the EVA. I think that's all we need for the EVA, is just to go up and do that. So that's a possibility. Right. Let's see. We don't have any orientation control on this craft as is. You know what I'm going to do? Because I don't like this here. We're gonna pop this down a bit. There. That's better. And what we'll do is I'll actually lift that up, and then we'll see if it can separate properly. Right. We need some orientation controls. Does this have anything like that? Does it have let's have a look at the top here. Descent mode it's got tanks, but it doesn't have anything clearly there. I don't see any control. So let's have a look. Is there any orientation control for, it's an easy way to do this, Gemini. Aerodynamic nose fairing, antenna, retro rockets, re-entry control system. This section contains fuel and thrusters by Gemini. 3-axis control after detaching the adapter section. RCS. Okay, so that would go on there like so. Okay, right. And then do I have a parachute? Where's my parachute? Drogue parachute, aerodynamic nose cap, that thing, aerodynamic nose fairing without a docking port. What's that? Orbital maneuvering systems. Oh, a little bit of Ohms thrusties which stick out through the side. I wonder how they work. Probably just stick them on the side. We'll bodge something. I'm not going to do the standard Titan Gemini. I don't think, where we have this bit exposed. I think we're actually going to put a fairing over it, like we've done with most things. I don't need that. Right. Let's see, what else have we got. Parachutes. Equipment section, that'll be the bit at the bottom I'm taking. Yeah, that goes at the bottom normally. And then you've got a heat shield we've got on, antenna. So we don't have everything right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a parachute. We'll take a little one, I think. Yeah, we'll stick a. Do I want to do that? Let's put one of these on. How small can that get? It's going to look just weird, isn't it? It's going to look just weird, right? So let's take this down in size. So previous size, tiny, and then I could put some thrusters actually on the top of there. What is in this? This is NTO, NMMA, that stuff. Right, and then what I actually want to do is I need to reroute this again before I do what I'm about to do. So we're going to reroute that to there. Okay, we're going to take this off now. And then we're going to go back to here. We're going to set this and we're going to have a look at it and go, right, I want you to deploy at 3 and 700. And I want the one below you to deploy at 5 and 1000. We're going to have 2 of them. That's okay. We could put a drogue in amongst it, I think. Yeah. Single shoot, main shoot mode. Apply settings. Okay. That's not too heavy. What's our total mass right now? Let's have a look. 1.5. Oof. What can Gemini support is a good question actually. Avionics. It can support 3.5. Okay, so it can deal with the mass of this. Okay. Right, let's put this back on. Right, there we go. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pull that off for now. Like so. Right. Because we want to keep in mind on this. So this is sort of getting close. Right, what is this? So this is HTP. We know that the thrusters up there are yeah, they're bipropellant, not a monopropellant at least. So we might want to change this. Do we have access to those yet? I don't think we do, which is an interesting one, that I can actually have that with different stuff. Yeah. See, we do not have access to this yet. That will come with early docking, which we do not have. So actually, I don't like the idea of having that at the moment. I think that's cheaty. So we're not going to have that. What we'll do is we will put, has this got fuel flow through it? Right, so we've got crossfeed there. What we're going to do is we're going to go old school. We're going to put that onto there to start with. And I'm going to, you know what, where's that join? It joins there. We're going to tidy this up a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some stuff on here, tidy this up, and then I'll be right back with you. Alright, let me show you what we have here then. So I have at the top here, we've put a parachute in there and we've put a little tank around it, and we've got our RCS in there. So the tank has the HTP for our RCS there. At the bottom here we have, and I'll just take this off so you can see, we have our little fairing section there that we had. It's just an adaptation of the sort of Mercury version we had. Then we've got another tank around the outside here that's got fuel in it. HTP again for these 4 engines, and then in the center here we've got just a battery basically, because I want to try and give myself a reasonable time on orbit. So we've got about 12 hours on orbit, and then actually inside we could just we can put all these things on and see what actually happens. Does that affect the battery? It goes down a little bit, but it's not a major issue. So that's that. And then this should, I think, be liftable on this craft here. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and get this on to here. There we go. And you can see it should just sit nicely there. Look at that, isn't that nice? And then that goes like so, and then it should just fit just inside our fairing, which I think it does. Let's have a look. Oh, beautiful. It's like I designed it, isn't it? All right, so what I will do is we'll put 2 fairings on to start with. What I'll do is we'll mock one of these up and get ready for the launching of it. Let's have a look at the delta V. We've got, oh, yeah, that should be fine. That should be fine. So that's 400 there. Yeah, we should be okay. So that's going to be probably enough to put it into orbit. We can refine it a bit. We may want to actually have a look at improving this craft a little bit, but we'll see about that. So I'm gonna save that. Let's actually have a look. How much is that going to cost me to tool? Tooling costs are going to do what? So it's 149 days. If I tool it, it drops it by 7 days. And it saves me 2,000. To tool it costs me 21,000 because I'm having to do the fairings and a service module, which is the battery, and that service module is the expensive bit because it's service module 3, which will give us a service module 3, so that will actually drop that down in future. So what we'll do is we'll purchase that tooling there. Okay, so I'm gonna prepare this to go. We'll save it. Let's have a look. The heat shield. Oh, the heat shield's not done. That's a problem. Let's go and have a look at the heat shield situation. Alright, so let's have a look at this heat shield situation. We are currently researching this one, which gives us the Gemini heat shield. Gemini heat shield is, it's about a 2 meter, isn't it? It's like 2 meters something. We actually have 2 meter shields here. So maybe I just stick one of those on for this test. Yeah, I think we'll maybe do that. We'll stick one of these on for the test. The idea being that we'll get to the Gemini one properly. Can be switched to the Gemini B configuration with a hatch. Okay, we'll put on a temporary one to start with, and then we can purchase all those parts for almost nothing, and then we'll see. Oh, with landing legs. Right, I'm going to go and do that, and then we'll put that craft to build. Right, here we are. I have taken one of the fairings off so we can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab just there, pull it off, and then we have to take this heat shield off. We've got to find one that's going to fit. And this might not be a major issue actually. What's this? I don't think that covers fully. So that one is that one there, which is the 225. So 250. That's a much bigger heat shield, and it weighs more. It weighs a lot more actually. Oh, that might take us. How much does the Gemini one? 0.169, and that one is 0.25. Let's actually have a look. What's the ablator situation on that? 121. Okay, and this one has, right, so we could actually take this down a bit to 125. What's that do for our mass? We'll take it down a bit. 125. That actually probably is about the right thing, yeah. And actually I don't know if I want that one or I want, yeah, let's go black, sorry. It's annoying that there isn't a perfect sized one, but if we went for the smaller one and it didn't cover it, that would be remiss of me, wouldn't it? Oh, that's horrible. Let's get rid of that. Where are we? Shroud. Get rid of that shroud. Right. Guess we're gonna have to redo this a little bit. Extra height or height? Height. Let's take the height down. And then we'll go extra height and take that up. That's annoying because we've actually already set these for the craft. Right, that is annoying. It's going to cost me. This is going to cost me because I didn't check things. Alright, let's have a look. I think that's okay. I'm going to leave it like that. I don't want it clipping too much. Not the prettiest of craft. It was beautiful before and now it isn't. And I think we can agree on that. So this is the Janus. It's actually test. Because I'm trying to think, Ares 1 and Ares 5, they called it the Ares 1X. So it's called the Janus Y. There we go, Janus Y. Janus Y. There we go, save that. Okay, put that onto there. We're still underneath requirement. That's clipping a little bit, but you know what? No, I'm letting myself have that because I think we'd just trim it. We'd just trim it with a pair of scissors or something is what would actually happen. Right, so the fairings do not need to come second. There we go. Right, so we're going to start the engines. We're going to decouple that, going to couple that. Those go. Second stage starts. Third stage is that, and those, and that. And where is this bit? Where is this? Oh, I disabled it. Yeah, we should probably decoupler enable that, because otherwise we'll never get the ship off, will we? So I disabled that because on the previous version we didn't want it. So that goes there, that's that, and then we want the fairings can sit in here somewhere. There we go. And then that is the upper ones. No, I want that one there like that. Thank you. That decouples. And that goes. Right, I think that is about as good as we're going to get. So we're going to build that, but we're not going to launch it in this episode. We're actually going to launch one of the other ones, just so I can actually test Delta V and things like that we're actually using, because I'm concerned this might not actually have enough. That's interesting that Delta V's come back to being sensible. Okay. We should have enough just to get into orbit. Whether we have enough to do some interesting orbital maneuvers, I'm not entirely sure, but we'll see what we've got. Right, so save that and build it like that. That's going to 142. I'm not going to actually tool that that extra fairing bit, because we're going to potentially upgrade this craft again once we get going, so that's not a big issue. So save that. It's being built. Show the build list of vessels, so it is there, and what we're actually going to do is I'll make a duplicate of it and we'll get that going as soon as possible. Right, however, we're going to send a pilot up. We're going to send a pilot up in the Icarus X, and we're going to see about doing a mission with them or just flying the craft. So I will do that quickly and I'll see you on the launch pad. We're just about to launch the Icarus 10. We're actually going to get rid of the Icarus 7, I think. I'm tempted to just delete it, but we'll hold it on just in case there's an important thing. What have I done while that's been going on? Well, we've got the astronaut complex is now being built. It's got 100 days, which is less than our craft is going to take, so that's good. I'll pop that up there, actually. Oh, in fact, no, yeah. We've got less than that craft, so we'll be able to EVA when that's ready. We have taken the EVA contract, so we've used the money from that initially to do that build and give us a little bit extra. We're still waiting on the Mars mission, so this should take us to within about 300 days, which will be perfect for us to then build some Mars craft and get those ready. I've also taken Orbital Flight 1 crew, because we can put that together with this one, which we're going to do in this episode. So we're going to launch this, and we'll get this up into orbit. So let's go. Right, here we are on the launch pad. We're just going to get ready. This is a twofold mission, so we're using it. Oh, actually, there's that contract for crew count of 2 in space. That's good. We'll get that. All right. We're not going to try and we can't EVA with this, but this first or this single crew mission is going to be to over 190 kilometers below something else. We're going to spend 22 hours in orbit, hopefully. I hope we have enough electricity for that, actually. Otherwise Jeannie Lafevre will actually be not coming home. But the main thing is, I'm looking at this Delta V here. I'm looking at these numbers. I think we've got about 300 extra Delta V on this launch stage on this craft. So I think we need to keep an eye on that, and I'd really like us to be in orbit without having to use the fuel on the actual probe. If we do, that is a problem for us, because it means that when we actually launch the Janus, it may not have enough grunt to do that. So let's get going anyway. So we've got surface on. We're going to do a quick launch for this, I think. So we're going to start our engines, get going, and get going. There we go, straight away. Superb. And I'm going to pop it up straight away into the next level of speed. Now, I could have launched in the daytime, and that would have probably been a much nicer experience for all those involved. But I just want to get this done. I want to get it out of the way, because we've got Janus coming, and Janus is not just about us getting... Oh, we can get rid of that, thank you. It's not just about us getting the ability to put 2 crew on orbit and potentially spend more time in orbit because we've got better life support. it's not only just about getting the EVA opportunities either, because that is going to be a big thing for us, getting science from EVA and things like that. No, Gemini or Janus actually has other scientific experiments which we're going to get as time goes on, and I don't know if you get all of them to start with, but you get a big selection, and they take days to run. We're talking 3 or 4 days. So while we've completed all of the Mercury mission sort of science, I'm sorry, I'm just sneezing while I'm launching. While we're actually completed all that, we're not actually getting much in the way of science from these missions anymore. But that will start again with the Janus project, so we're going to get quite a lot of interesting science, I think, hopefully. This craft needs to get over a bit more. There we go, that's alright. Get my RCS on and ready, because this engine is going to cut out soon. Going to do that, and there we go. Sorted. Brilliant. And then we're going to be above there, so we can pop off those, and there we go. Right, so this is not going to be a perfect launch, primarily because I don't want it to be a perfect launch. I want this to actually be quite rough, because potentially we're going to be quite rough with our first sort of Gemini. I'm going to keep calling it Gemini even though we're calling it Janus. And this is not something I see a lot of people do. I don't see a lot of people sort of use a launch vehicle and measure sort of, you know, what's it capable of in much detail in their playthroughs, but we're actually doing that. We have this first generation pod. It's actually quite heavy because most of its mass is down here. We've got a lot of mass in its fuel reserves and things, and while we've changed the second gen one, it's wider, it's actually shorter. It has a little bit more delta V down here, but overall it's not that much heavier, so it's an interesting choice for us to do, really. Right, we're going to pitch up a bit more because I don't want to be losing too much in the way of timing. So how have we got left? We've got 2 minutes on this engine, and we're sort of holding it reasonably to apoapsis. Our sort of vertical velocity is slowing down, but that we're going to get to orbit. I think I have a feeling. In fact, I've gone too far now, so we need to just drop it down. We're in the right region. We're going to have a nice apoapsis and periapsis, hopefully, if I can get this right. I should probably start slowing this down now, actually, when I'm getting close to the end. So what we do is go to normal speed. There we go, just normal speed. And if you are trying to go fast with your launches and things, and you do speed up, when you're coming towards actually getting to the end, oh, you know what? This might not have. Yeah, we will have. This is going to be. Yeah, we've got loads. It says there's very little there, but of course this is a balloon tank, so it doesn't really show, does it? We're going to pop this nose down just a smidgen. Like so, there we go. Oh, there we go, perfect. Right, we are perfect right now. We're going to decouple. There we are. And we're just going to sit. So let's have a look. What does it actually say? It actually says, where is my craft? There we are. Which electricity do I have? I have 1 day and whatnot of electricity. We're pretty much sorted, so we can leave this in orbit for a day and see what happens. And so we might do that. I may leave this in orbit and come back to it next time, so we can actually see it return, and then we'll do the Janus launch. So from me and Jeannie Lefebvre, who won't be on the Janus craft, we'll have to think who's going to be on them actually. Who am I going to take? I suppose I should take like a scientist and a pilot or something. I do have an engineer. I could take a scientist and engineer. That'd be quite interesting. That'd be an odd approach, wouldn't it, I suppose? Right. So from me, until next time, have a great one.